Lidia Yuknavitch is the nationally best-selling author of the novels The Book of Joan, The Small Backs of Children, Dora, A Headcase, the memoir The Chronology of Water, and The Misfits Manifesto. Okay, over to you, Lidia.
Thank you so much. Have I turned my mic on and everything? I think so. I want to thank Susan with Literary Arts as always, and to you, Mark, with the Springfield Public Library. Thank you for having us. I have so enjoyed the pleasure of the company and the brilliance of the work of Chelsea and Genevieve and Mark and my partner in mayhem and not quite rightness, Vanessa. So it's thrilling for me to be here. And I wanted to add that your work, Chelsea and Genevieve and Mark and Vanessa, helps me not give up or give in. So I just want to express gratitude and love and solidarity to all workers and librarians. And in these brutal times, here's to briefly making art together and in the face of you know what. You don't need to know anything. It's a short story. I don't know anything either. The story is called Cusp. This bed smells of my skin. If I roll from my back to my belly, sweat cools near my spine. If I close my eyes, I'm like an animal up here in the heat and wood, baking in the daylight, my eyelids heavy, my thoughts slow and thudding. I'm waiting for dark, for the release, for breathing to animate me. This room and everything in it brings me closer to myself. From the frame of my attic window, I have imagined the inside out of this town, its heat rising from dust and scrub, its mindless longing for rain, its heart beating with dumb insistence. Outside my room, the world has expanded and contracted like the tight little fist of a child. I mean, years have gone by. I used to wonder who would want to live here, like this, some dried out town at the edge of the storyline, the nightly news, never quite making it into the picture. It's people crowding the geography somehow without evolution or design. There's a black and red sign over the door of the Texaco. It reads, Texas, USA. No city, no need. That's the whole deal stuck up there on a piece of metal the size of a license plate. Like thought stopped for gas and died at the pump. I remember the day I moved from my room downstairs up into the attic. It'd been my brother's. He'd gone to college, I'd hit puberty, the two motions smacking each other like electrical currents. The white canopy bed of a girl died that day because I never went back. The day I moved into my brother's room, I felt the wooden walls close in around me, as if a second body were there to hold me. The wood grain looked to me like dark, warm skin. Underneath the bed, I found artifacts from my brother's life, empty bottles and broken glass, trash, foil, used rubbers and tissues, tiny vials and a stretch of surgical tubing. It was a year before I found the needles, but it wasn't because I hadn't looked. He'd shown me his world when I was 10, knowing I would want it, I would love it, like I loved every moment of his existence. And to be in that attic, adoring him, the dark of the room, the broken rules, the thick, unbearable silence, the smells I didn't have names for, it was everything. I did find it, though. Wasn't I meant to? Wasn't I meant to prove my worth, to carry on the weight of that room? My brother, my other, I'm coming, I'm coming. On my 14th birthday, I got a bottle of Jack Daniels from my brother. He was home from college. He gave it to me in secret after dark, and we sat up in the attic window that connected our lives and drank until I was bleary and swollen. At some point after midnight, we became overheated and half clothed, and the heat works on you like that in that place, Texas. You shed layers like the skin of a snake until your body can bear itself. My brother drank and said, Well, it's almost here, isn't it? You mean that? I pointed out the window toward the future, toward the place out in the dark where they were building it. It was a prison next to my house. In my youth, nights overtook me, and alone in the attic, my hands dug and carried me into worlds of my own making between my legs, and I brought my mother's face into the walls now and again, as if he were watching or guarding or lifting me into darkness, away, away, out. The day they lodged the last brick, stretched the last of the chain link fencing, wound the last barbed loops overhead, I knew that my do-nothing life was about to be over. My dull, dead town had driven away like a herd of stupid lost cows. Thanks, humans.
Thank you. That was amazing.